Danica wants to know, how did you imagine the voices when you first created the characters? Did you have certain actors in mind?
How did we imagine the voices? Well, yeah, we definitely have actors in mind when we're creating the characters. And I know when Phil writes, he likes to know kind of what kind of voice each character has. And sometimes we'll even pin up pictures of actors as we're trying to develop the characters just to inspire us. So yeah, a lot of times we do have actors in mind.
Santa Barbara Charter School.
Santa Barbara Charter.
Right down front.
Emma wants to know.
Where's Emma?
Is Emma here?
Is Emma here?
All right, there she is.
All right,
Awesome.
Emma, here comes your question.
How did you first picture the scenes in your mind, and then how do you transfer them onto the screen?
That is a great question.
Good question, Emma.
Because we had the idea to send Ralph and Vanellope to the internet, and we're like, oh, that's such a cool idea. And then we were like, but what does the internet look like? This is a nightmare. So it took a long time for us to sort of imagine what the internet would look like. And for a while, we imagined that the internet was, that these websites were buildings, and that there was a huge stream that just floated through the internet full of data, and we called it the data stream, and the websites were like buildings with docks backed up to the data stream. And that was one idea we had, and we actually pictured it that way for a long time until some people told us that didn't make any sense, and we ended up making it more like a big city. But when you're making something up like that, you really just have to use your imagination to figure out how it's going to look.
Carter from Roosevelt School. Carter, are you here?
Hey, Carter.
He wants to know, how did you decide what new characters to add to the sequel?
Well, everything from the way the movie looks to the actors, every aspect of the movie is around the story. So whatever the story dictates, whatever new things have to happen to Ralph and Vanellope in this journey, and what characters they meet, that is all determined by where the story goes. So
and you know how we think about stories, particularly comedies, like we love Ralph, but the movie wouldn't be funny if terrible things didn't happen to Ralph. So, like, let's say if my goal in a movie is to get to Rich, this is not an interesting scene. Me just walking to him. But if I walk this way and then I trip and I fall and then something lands on me, then that's a story. That becomes a story. So for Ralph, every decision we make is based on how can we make life terrible for Ralph, and that's how we decide everything.
Yep.
Diego from Elmwood School.
Elmwood. Where's Diego? Where's Diego? Right over there. We're going to read your question. Here it comes.
Is there a particular video game that sparked your inspiration for this film?
Ooh, there's a good question, Diego. Well, there's a lot of games that inspire different things in this movie. Like the game Slaughter Race was inspired by Grand Theft Auto with a little bit of...
You shouldn't applaud that terrible game.
Yeah. With a little bit of Saints Row, with a little bit of Twisted Metal, which is an older driving game. So yeah, we're always inspired by the games that we love to play in making a movie like this. Good question, Diego.
And Eleanor from Elmwood School. I live across Elmwood School.
Ooh, Elmwood.
Elmwood. How many people worked on this film?
Believe it or not, over 500 people worked on this film.
Yeah.
There were, Rich and I are just two, but there were close to...
Let's meet them all right now. Here they come, all 500 people.
No, it's as if this whole center row, basically, that's probably about 500 people worked on this movie. That's a lot.
And Daniela from Elmwood. From the start to the release date, how long did it take you to create this movie?
Well, Daniela, that's a good question. We started working on this movie in 2013, before a lot of you were even born. right? Or no?
Not
were
quite.
you alive? How? Oh, okay. Sorry. So that was about, 6 years ago? But then we took a break to make another movie called Zootopia. Did you hear about that one? That Phil and I worked on. So all said, it was probably about 3.5 to 4 years to make this movie that you saw today.
Crystal, also from Elmwood. Crystal, you're
Elmwood.
here? Which scene in the film took the longest to create?
Probably the one at the end when that giant monster Ralph is sort of rampaging around. That took over a year because there are over 1 million individual Ralphs that go up to make that huge, gross Ralphzilla monster. That one took a long time and a lot of people and a lot of different animators and special effects artists and scientists who are figuring out how to actually put over 1 million characters in one shot. So there were hundreds of people worked on that scene.
Dane from Roosevelt.
Roosevelt.
Yeah. Which character do you relate to the most, and what unique traits do they have that you relate to?
I relate to a lot of the characters in the movie. Some days I feel like Ralph, where it's like I get in my own way and I have good intentions, but I'm making mistakes. And then some days I feel like Vanellope, who, is always kind of looking for
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like him. So from day to day, I feel like all the different characters in the movie.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just going to watch this. This is...
Maybe we can put the sound up.
just in time for it to be done.
Yes.
Oh, well.
And the other side of the question that Dane had, what unique traits do they have that you relate to?
Oh, so I relate to Vanellope in many ways because I was a kid, I came from a small town, and I sort of had this itch to do something else with my life. I ended up moving to New York, and sort of that excitement about what's around the corner. Like I like that about Vanellope, that she wonders what's next, and she's always thinking sort of creatively about what her life could be. Like she's a dreamer and a goofball, and I kind of like that about her.
Do you prefer pancakes or milkshakes?
Good question.
I'm a pancake guy.
And I'll say I'm a milkshake man myself.
Who likes pancakes here? All right. How about the milkshake people?
Oh, wow.
Man, it's
milkshake,
pretty close.
Milkshake win.
All right, one more time. Let's hear it for pancakes. Now milkshakes. It's milkshakes.
I think milkshakes.
Milkshakes.
Okay. Kate G. from Elmwood.
Elmwood again.
Oh my goodness, this is a tough question. What's the significance of A113 that appears in several Disney movies?
Well, that number is the number of a classroom at a school called California Institute of the Arts, where a lot of Disney filmmakers went to school, where we went to college.
Just down the road from here.
It's in Valencia, not far from here. And they have an animation program there, and a lot of us went to that college to learn how to do this. And there's a beloved classroom there that's number A113 that we all attended. And so as kind of a tribute to our school, we put it in the movies that we make.
And Alicia from Roseville. Alicia,
Roosevelt.
you're here?
Alicia? She left. She
went to get pancakes.
Yeah, she went to go get a milkshake.
What is your favorite part about making an animated movie?
That's a good question.
Favorite part?
I love when it's done and I can watch it with an audience. Honestly, like we live with these movies, like Rich said, for over 3 years, and And sometimes it's just the two of us looking at a movie, at the thing going, does this work? I don't know. Is anyone going to like it? I don't know. And so when we finally are finished and have an audience watching it, it's the most satisfying thing. It's like sending your baby off into the world and seeing it walk on its own 2 feet.
So did you guys enjoy the movie today? Did you like it? Woo! Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Okay, Jude from Elwood. How did you feel when you realized your movie was the first major studio film with the word internet in the title?
Wow, is that true?
Wow. I'm just realizing it right now.
Yeah, I'm realizing it now. It feels pretty good. We're like pioneers,
All right.
trailblazers.
I feel great.
I feel really good that we're one of the first movies that has internet in the title, because the internet's an
How is that
amazing
possible?
invention that that's pretty cool.
That's a great question, and you gave the answers. I didn't know that.
Shalon from SB Charter.
Shalon.
What was your favorite? What was
There's
your
Shalon.
favorite movie growing up?
Ooh, growing up, man. Well, the first movie that I ever saw in a theater was The Jungle Book, the animated one, not the one that just came out a couple years ago. Not far from here in Oxnard, I grew up. And after that, Star Wars was my favorite movie. Let's hear it for Star Wars. I saw Star Wars in this theater
At the
when I was
Arlington
at the
Theater?
Arlington when I was a
Wow.
kid, when it first came out.
Wow.
Yep.
I love Star Wars too, and there is a Rich knows this. There's a movie I'm sure none of you have ever seen called On Golden Pond.
Oh my God.
When I was 8 years old, I loved this movie. It's a very adult kind of drama with Henry Fonda and Jane Fonda and Katharine Hepburn and
Norman?
Yes,
Norman?
for some reason I
The calla
loved
lilies are in bloom.
yes, the loons, Norman. I love that movie for reasons that escape me. I don't know why.
It's a good movie. They
Kids-
both won the Oscar
kids got to
for
check
best-
out On Golden
Yes.
Pond.
Michaela from SB Charter.
Kayla!
What age were you when you decided you wanted to be a filmmaker?
I was very young when I saw Jungle Book. I was about 5 or 6, and I didn't know I wanted to be a filmmaker, but I knew that I wanted to work in animation because I just loved animation so much.
I didn't go back to film school until I was almost 30. So I had a different career throughout my 20s, and when I was a kid, I wanted to be a basketball player or a baseball player or something, but
Do we have any basketball players here?
but
in the room?
I wasn't that good at it.
Do we have any filmmakers in the room? Yeah?
Dylan from Roosevelt School. Will there be a Wreck-It Ralph 3?
Well, what do you guys think? So yes. Okay, and the no's. I think
Apparently there
okay,
will.
Yes. According to these guys, yes, there will be.
We have no plans for it, but you may have just changed our mind.
Do you think they should go to the internet again? No. Maybe they go to Applebee's. All right. Yeah.
There it is.
We got
Ralph-
a title.
Ralph
goes
Breaks
to
to
Applebee's.
Applebee's.
Miss Barr from Roosevelt School would like to know, what advice would you give to a young person who wants to do what you do when they grow up?
Oh man, that's such a good question.
That's a really good question. Wait,
Here-
who asked that one?
Miss Barr.
Miss
right, Ms.
Barr.
Barr.
Where's Miss Barr? Good job, Miss Barr.
Raising the bar for the students of Roosevelt. I would say every single one of you has a story. Every single one of you has a different point of view on the world. And I think with phones and the fact that technology allows each of you to start thinking about telling your stories in a very simple way, making movies with your friends has never been easier. And I think the world is ready for new voices. So I would figure out, what is your story? Look around your life. Who is the weirdest person you know? And I honestly, That's what
Who's the weirdest person?
my screenwriting
right
professor told me that. Like, think about
Are you
the
the
weirdest
weirdest
person you know, and make that person a character.
So is that their homework?
That's
is that
their homework.
Your
And love the
homework
weird. Love your weird friends
is
and make movies with them.
Make a story about the weirdest person you know.
Let's bring the projects to schools.
All right.
So these
Whoa,
are
this
projects
is-
that you guys made.
Nice. So who made this one?
Who made this one?
Who made this one? It's like you're looking into the computer. It's got the keyboard right
That is
here.
so cool.
And you're looking into the computer, and you can see Ralph and Vanellope and the router. That's awesome.
That's really great.
Good job.
Love
Man,
it.
That's very creative. Thank you for this one. Now let's check out this.
This is an amazing painting.
Who is this handsome devil? That is Ralph right there.
From
That's from
and it says right
Carpinteria.
Carpinteria Middle School.
Make art. That's a great message.
That
from
is great.
Carpinteria.
And
Thank
that's
you.
an amazing Ralph. It's a beautiful
That's
rendering.
better than I could paint.
Oh, me too, by
Yep.
far.
Thank
Good
you,
job.
Carpinteria Middle School. This is beautiful.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Let's give a big shout out to Phil. Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.